Heyo, it's Ko. Welcome to a video set in cyberspace. I've been trapped here ever since I found that weird mysterious portal, and I guess I decided the best way to spend my time is praising the very thing that trapped me. Sonic Frontiers, you love it, you hate it, you love to hate it, you hate to love it. This is a game I'm personally very excited for. We're finally back into an era where Sonic feels hyped up, grand, and AAA. A Sonic game designed with huge platforming and playgrounds galore, and a massive open space, small, fun, challenging traditional Sonic levels on the side, and the most fleshed out moveset and combat the character has ever seen? Where has this been all these years? However, I'm not here to praise the game itself, no. I'm here to praise cyberspace. If you don't know, cyberspace acts as the game's traditional Sonic stages. Frontiers is Breath of the Wild shrines, if you please. They are a digital dimension Sonic can traverse in-game to collect Chaos Emerald vault keys to unlock, well, the Chaos Emeralds. To access them, you need to collect a certain amount of portal gears that can be picked up from defeated bosses. Kinda like the Sun and Moon medals from Unleashed, although less annoying. There's been some pretty heated discourse surrounding these levels, however, and amidst all the negativity surrounding it, I'm here with a video that instead looks at the great aspects, why I personally like it, and why you're totally allowed to dislike it if you do. That being said, let me begin. Cyberspace itself has been known as early as 2-year-old leaks. It was said in leaks way before the Nintendo Direct that we got that there would be levels in the game that are Unleashed Generation styled, and referred to as cyberspace. For years since then it was believed to be a myth, until that fateful day on June 28, 2022, when Nintendo Direct hosted a partner showcase, and Frontiers got its own section. What did it finally show? Cyberspace, and the legend was proven true. It showed brief footage of the highway themed level and the Green Hill level. The reveal left people worried due to the return of our beloved, actually not really, friend, Green Hill. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, being me, I was hooked. The aesthetic looked incredible, and the levels looked really fun. Fast forward to the Gamescom event where people were able to play Frontiers' demo and oh no, they did not. No way. Yes, they did. Players were able to figure out how to bypass the demo's time limit, and in doing so, managed to reach cyberspace levels not meant to be seen on a normal demo playthrough. Approximately 7 levels in full level design, no less. This is where things go downhill. Sonic fans, as they usually do, were very quick to spot levels such as Green Hill, Sunset Green Hill, and Chemical Plant, reusing level design from past Sonic games. For example, here's a side-by-side with Green Hill and Windmill Isle Act 1 from Sonic Unleashed. Or Chemical Plant from Frontiers versus Chemical Plant from Generations. Noticing something odd? Yeah. Sega recreated level layouts almost 1-to-1. How did I feel? Not all that bad, honestly. It's a valid criticism for sure and a bit odd of a choice, but I still felt like the levels were fun. I'm not going to go too in depth with how everyone feels, but to this day it's noted as the weakest aspect of Frontiers. But why don't I feel this way? Am I weird? Have I lost my mind? Here's why. This may come as a bit of a shock to you, but I enjoy Colors and Force's level structure. A heaping of 1 to 2 minute bite-sized stages are just fun time-wasting rollercoaster rides. Kishimoto, the director of Colors, Forces, and Frontiers, I feel gets way too much flack for what he brings to Sonic games. I completely understand what they're going for when it comes to shorter levels. They're short, but sweet. I feel like Unleashed daytime stages are great, but in some cases almost outstay their welcome. In my opinion, 1 to 2 minute stages are completely fine in my book. It also makes replayability less of a chore because levels are easy to speedrun and be done with. Why do you think I have 130 hours logged into? Okay, yeah, maybe I have lost my mind. Anyways, the short time limit really doesn't bother me personally. I enjoy bite-sized fun stages in Sonic games, and I feel it's where the speed really hits. Reuse level design and level themes? Sure. That one I'm a little less forgiving of, but I kinda don't mind it in this particular game. I felt the way Forces and Mania handled returning themes just wasn't as interesting to me. Green Hill with sand? Green Hill but with new level layouts? Chemical Plant with... Actually, this one's pretty neat. But overall, I just wasn't a huge fan of how Mania and Forces handled the returning level gimmick. Frontiers, on the other hand, I feel this is the most interesting way they've ever gone about it. Let me compare. In Forces Green Hill, it was essentially just Green Hill with Sansom areas. Nothing about it felt visually new or even mechanically. In Mania Green Hill, it was essentially just Green Hill, as Green Hill always has been. In Frontiers Green Hill, the sky is digitized, there are broken parts of the stage just floating in the background, and has streaks of light zooming past you. This is what I'm talking about. If you want to bring back a stage, do something interesting. Green Hill feels the most altered it has ever been. Same goes for Chemical Plant and Sky Sanctuary. As for the reuse of level design, I'm still sort of mixed, but I totally understand what they're going for. I think it's a little odd that they're recreating level layouts from other Sonic games, but the concept of a digitalized world just trying to artificially recreate Sonic's memories is a really awesome idea, which is what they officially stated is the reasoning behind it. Some people see it as an excuse, I see it as potential. The music, oh my gee golly gosh, the music. When I heard back in the leaks that the cyberspace music goes hard, I was fully expecting it to. But little did I know the sheer magnitude of how incredible they would be to the point my earbuds caught on fire. Good fire. To experience some things for myself firsthand, I refrained from listening to cyberspace music past Green Hill, Sky Sanctuary, and Chemical Plant. But from what I've heard, mesmerizing. Simply some of the best music I've heard in the franchise. Just listen to these for a minute. Now, not everyone is into this style of music, and that's completely fine. I've heard many complaints from people about how Tomiya Otani has been getting too much into EDM, dubstep, electronical D&B synths, etc. But to me, Otani is my favorite Sonic composer. I aspire to make music as good as this. But I've also heard people say this style of music isn't fitting for Sonic, which kind of confuses me. I think Sonic is completely open to a ton of music genres. There's more to this franchise than just rock. We've had electronic, pop, rock, funk, metal, hip-hop, R&B, jazz, orchestral, the list goes on. So I think this is fine. I actually think this fits Sonic quite well, as it has very accelerating speed to it that fits Sonic's overall fast and frantic nature. Let me ask you something. When I mention the word cyber to you, what kind of music comes to mind? Imagine a digital world. What music would fit in that world? To me, I think synth, electronical, D&B, dubstep, EDM, and so on would all fit perfectly in a setting such as that. Cyberspace is built as a never-ending futuristic world where nothing is real, as my friend put it. I just don't think rock and roll would fit this kind of aesthetic. You get your share of rock thanks to the main and end theme, I'm Here and Vandalize. I think it works well. Next, the visuals. I touched on them in the level theme reuse part, but I'm going more in depth here. The visuals are absolutely stunning and brimming with color. Green Hill with its bright oranges, browns, and greens with occasional reds, yellows, and blues. Chemical Plant with its red sky but yellow, green, and blue lights strewn across the metallic tubes you run down. The highway with its uses of brown, white, yellow, and more with the background showing roads floating in the sky. Streaks of light speed by extremely fast to simulate cars zooming by at 1,000,000 miles a second. The streaks of light zooming past you as you run through the level. The Sunset Green Hill level makes me melt. Look at this. Look at this. The digitized cubey skybox, the pieces of the level are just floating out into the void, the glitch effect when you start and end a level, the digitized skybox changing color to simulate sunset, day, night, and the red polluted skies of Chemical Plant. It is sheer beauty. To tie it all together, let's talk about gameplay. Cyberspace acts as this game's traditional boost levels, the kind of gameplay you see in Unleashed, Colors, Generations, and Forces, of course. It's linear straight shot to the end gameplay where you time your air boost to go through dash rings and rainbow rings, homing attack a few enemies, and do a ton of platforming. To me, this looks really fun from what gameplay I have seen, but what really sells it for me, the speed running. A large majority of my Forces replaying comes from speed running to beat a previous time. Considering Cyberspace has one of its requirements being to beat an S rank time, I think it'll be a lot of fun to challenge the time and see if you can maybe beat it in less than the S rank time displayed. However, amidst all the hype I have for these levels, there is one caveat to this whole thing: the controls. I'm not sure if the person is just playing bad, but in some of this footage, Sonic doesn't seem very great to control. Notice how in this footage, Sonic is swaying back and forth, trying to just hit the dash ramp. Or how in this footage, the person is on the top path, tries to run and jump to the next platform, and kinda struggles to. Or how in this footage, Sonic hits a curve, turns, and runs smack dab into a wall like he just woke up from a hangover. I think this is a bit of a concern. In Forces, I feel the way Sonic controls isn't great either, but I never struggle. I feel like I have control of him enough to where I can platform without him bugging out. But here, Sonic running into a wall, struggling to run to a dash ramp, and just flying all over the place when jumping is worrying to say the least. Maybe it's just the players. Maybe I won't struggle when I play the levels hands-on when the game releases. Maybe these will be fixed in the final launch. But with loving the music and the visuals and the concept, the controls from Sonic himself just aren't doing it for me, I'm afraid. So I'm hoping that when the game launches, and I have it in my hands, I can control Sonic smoothly enough to not make him always look like a drunk uncle who just got out of bed. Also, can I just mention for a second, why does he get snagged on the ground here? All gameplay of this level shows him stopping in this spot. Is there some weird collision? They should really fix that. In the end, I am very excited about Cyberspace. It wouldn't be the first time I've loved a mostly hated aspect of a Sonic game, and it certainly won't be the last, I assure you. Now, I completely understand if some people don't vibe with these levels, even at launch. I understand the criticisms, and they're valid criticisms. I have my own even. But I'm very optimistic about these levels, and I think they'll be a blast to find on each island. Be surprised at what level it is, since Cyberspace levels aren't titled, they're numbered, so it's a Kinder Egg style surprise. Noticing what level design it takes from, and enjoying the atmosphere and music. I hope this video helps shed some positive light on otherwise mostly universally disliked levels, and I hope they're super fun to play when the game launches. This is KO, speeding off.